Welcome back once again to Z Daddy's Garage. Today, we're going to be doing my passenger door, finishing the driver door, and probably bolting together the bottom half of my big block since I got my window regulators in from the last video. I got my bearings in for the big block, and I think that was all I was waiting on for the doors was just the regulators. But we're going to go ahead and tear into this side. Maybe that's a mistake. I haven't finished the driver's side yet, but either way, it's gonna be a learning experience. So, we're gonna go ahead and start this deal. I'm gonna need some tools. So I guess we're gonna be starting this one early on with a time-lapse or cut. So if you remember, I bought 1/4-inch hardware, stainless hardware to go back in where all these Phillips screws are. Because Phillips suck, let's be honest. Oh, I'm gonna do this one a little bit differently. I'm gonna tear it down in the proper order, you know. Yeah. So for those of you asking, the proper order to tear down a 67 to 72 Chevrolet C10 door guts is this. 2 bolts here and 1 bolt here for your back track. 2 bolts here and 3 bolts here that hold in your wing window and front track. You then take your back track, move it to the side, slide the window back in order to get this out. You wiggle it back, pull it up, and then you pull the window up through. Once you get it out of the regulator track, wiggle it around, get it out of the rollers, pull the window out, then you take these 4 screws loose, pop the regulator out, put the new one in. Hopefully this will go pretty quickly. We're gonna wind up having to move to the driver's side because once I get the rubber put in this, we're gonna have to let it dry again like I did last time. But we can at least get the tear down done in a lot faster time than it took me last video. Don't mind the duct tape. I had to duct tape that window closed. My wife and I went on vacation. It was actually the month we got married. We went to Tennessee on a vacation in I think it was February. Yeah, 2nd week of February, so it's still kind of cold. And she said we could take this, but there were stipulations. I had to put exhaust on it, which I did at the time. I had exhaust out and a couple side pipes. And I had to seal up the cab corners and the windows and the weather stripping where air was coming in. So I duct taped this window closed. I put some cardboard or something in the cab corners and got it sealed up. Put exhaust on it, and we took this truck to Tennessee. I guess it was the week before or 2 weeks before we got married. So that was kind of cool. But either way, that's why the duct tape was there. I'm missing this mechanical piece, which I'll probably go ahead and buy as well. The lock for the wing window. I might feel froggy and go ahead and order gaskets for the wing windows too. I don't know. If I do that though, I can't put the doors all the way back together today. So I might not. Either way. Bingo. Woo! That was almost a screw up. The other side went easier than that for some reason. So if you remember the last video, I was talking about that bushing. This one is a lot better shape, but it's not ideal. This one would actually probably continue to work with minimal work. Clean it up, lube it up, put it back in. But like I said, they were 40 bucks a piece. Not a huge deal. Hopefully it came with the little wheels. I did not check on that. But either way, we're gonna go ahead and unbox those, so let me grab them. This one should be the passenger side. Shelby. Oh, wow. Yeah, this moves a lot better than my old one. But it does look like it's the same piece. Cool. It did come with my little track wheels. Good deal. All right, so I'll start by bolting this in. Actually, I need my hardware. Let me grab a socket. I got ahead of myself. Bingo. All right, so now that the regulator's in, we're gonna go ahead and rebuild this back track. Bingo. Now, as we did the other day, we're going to get this down the channel. Get the back half put back in before I actually trim or cut any of this. I've got to get the glass in, or at least the wing window, and figure out exactly where the trim is going to cut off at. So there's that. I'm going to do this a little different than last time too. Based on the other side, it looks like we have about 4 inches of slack coming out the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and start there. And I'm not going to pull it through like I did last time either. I'm just going to fold it and pop it because that works so much faster. For at least some of this stuff, I'm learning right along with you. Because while I've done a lot of things to a lot of cars, not even just cars, just things in general, but as much stuff as I've done, there's things that I haven't, there's things that I don't know. And I always like learning, which is another reason for undertaking this truck when I did. Partially because I had a little time this year. I did have to forego a lot of my normal customers. I do apologize to y'all for that. But I had time, I had some money. Excuse me, I had a little bit of money this year. So I decided I would go ahead and take the time and kind of focus on me a little bit. Last 5 or 6 years, I've done nothing but work for everybody else, and I haven't been able to do this truck. Mostly because of money, but because I didn't have money, I was working for everybody else. This year I had a little bit more money than usual. Decided to take most of the year for me and do something that I've been wanting to do and that I thoroughly enjoy doing. I thoroughly enjoy working on these old cars, so we're cool. Do this the same way I did the other side. A little thin bead down both sides and a thick one across the bottom. And we'll put our paint sticks in it to spread it out and fully fill the channel. Those paint sticks for. Hopefully you can see all that. So this track, this window channel, when I put the felt in it, I put a thick bead of glue across the bottom and the track and on the sides of each of the weather stripping, or each side of the weather stripping. I then put the paint sticks in, which were just slightly wider than the window, to spread this weather stripping out all the way to the edge of the channel to finish filling the channel. The glue would dry, hold everything in place, and I wouldn't wind up with a binding window when I tried to roll it up and down. That was the purpose behind that. Hopefully I have not put this window regulator in prematurely once again. I probably should have fooled around with that first. Getting the window itself back in the track, but hey, if we gotta take it back out, we gotta take it back out, right? No big deal. So I know we're a little long, or a little short, excuse me, just eyeballing it. Should be, theoretically, somewhere in there. Beautiful. Okay, so since I have the other wing window ready, I think I'm going to switch to that side and continue to put that door together. That'll at least give me, like I said, right now I'm learning along with y'all. A lot of this stuff I've never done before. So we're going to cut this real quick, move to the other side, and we'll put the wing window back in, start figuring out what's going on over there. All right, so we're gonna start by putting the wing window back in. That'll allow me to figure out where this track needs to end, where the weather stripping needs to end. And it will also be the front track in, so that way I can slide the window in. Figure out if I need to put the window in the regulator or the regulator in by itself or blah, 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 because I don't really know yet. So we're just gonna start here. Well, would you look at that? Almost like I knew what I was doing. Wow. So, I know y'all won't get to experience this because you're there and I'm here. But as I was saying, this window used to rattle something awful. You'd slam the door and it would go slamming around the truck. You'd think it was gonna break. That thing is tight, and I mean tight. So that only leaves us 2 components to install on this door, at least for now. I'm gonna refinish the door panels before I put them back on. Let me know below. Should I do black or should I do like a cream? You've seen the tropical turquoise and cream. I'm thinking about swapping the white accents, the wheels, bumpers, and grille over to cream, putting the cream in the engine bay as well, and I may do these door panels cream. So let me know below what you think, and we're gonna see what happens with it. But the only 2 things left to install over here is our wiper and our felt. I'm probably gonna have to cut this to fit. Yeah, it's gonna be a trim to fit. All right. In that case, let me grab a Sharpie and mark it. This side will be pretty easy. Should just be a matter of clearancing it. I'm wanting to say that this side helps to hold that weather stripping back. So I need to cut it at a little bit longer than I'm thinking. Something like that ought to work. There shouldn't be a driver and passenger, just in case. I'm gonna check the other felt. Shouldn't be a driver and passenger. Yeah, that's a jagged cut. I don't think that's, no, we're not. All right, so that is a trim to fit, which means our wiper will probably be the same, but that's no big deal. I'm gonna grab me a grinder and cutoff wheel, solve this problem real quick. Oh yeah. Cool. Oh, that is phenomenal. Cool. Yeah. Kind of excited. All right, so now that this side's pretty much done, I'm still gonna swap out these 3 bolts on the door latch mechanism because, again, I hate Phillips. We'll swap those 3 out. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Jesus, sing my song. 1, Cool. Now, I did order new door handles. There we go. I did order new door handles and new door regulators. I also got what I was saying earlier, the like ivory, more cream color. I got cream colored knobs to go in the window regulators. Kind of match the whole truck vibe deal I'm giving off a little bit better. Boy, that's cool. Oh, fantastic. All right. Now, I'm gonna check this glue. My wheater stripping glue. See if she's dry yet, which I kind of doubt. All right, that's not dry yet. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this, wait on that glue to dry, and I'm gonna move y'all back to the passenger side. We'll finish over there here in a little bit, so stay tuned. But now that I have a little bit more experience as to what's going on, we should be able to knock this thing out, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and change this door handle before I get too far ahead of myself. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Getting old. Hey. Wow. It's amazing. As little as this door's been used that I'm aware of, the tip of that rod is just flat and wore off. It's fantastic. All right, test fit this one. Actually looks pretty good. I am gonna sand. There's some little dimples here for these casting marks. Maybe where the gating was on it when it was milled, or I'm actually not 100% sure what these are. I believe they're cast aluminum, but so that's probably gating. But either way, let me knock that off real quick. I'll be back. Get rid of this gasket too, the old one. There we go. Oh yeah, way better. All right, let's get my gaskets. Get that one on there. Oh yeah, good to go. Put some door holder. Now, let's get the glass back in here. Right after I put me a little bit of slick 'em up in the tracks. I didn't forget the one in the door. I just didn't show you. So that track right here that I was talking about, I didn't forget the one on that side, but I did this side. So. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. All right, so we're gonna do the felt wiper on this side as well. And then probably go ahead and move over to the big block. Before I do that, oh yeah. Let me do a little bit of adjustment to the door. My lines aren't quite right. But the door is also a little bit rotted out at the bottom. And that striker plate may just be too far out anyway. No big deal. All right, felt wiper. It's been kind of interesting to see wear and age from side to side. So like the driver door gets used more than anything else. And the wear is what you would expect to see for a door that's used more. This door relatively was in excellent condition, but it had a completely different kind of wear or a completely different kind of age because it didn't get used very often. Interesting to see when you're doing old stuff like this. Maybe that's just the way my brain works. Maybe you don't care, but that's fine because I'm building this. I am gonna have to order me a gasket, or not a gasket, at least a lock lever for this. It pushed up in the door. There we go. Yeah, this is heat shrink and all kinds of other goody goodness. Definitely not in great condition, but I'll get me a locking lever for that. Close it up. It should hold water out. Big deal. This door is not nearly as hard to take apart as I thought it would be. So at some later date, if I have time before we go to Biloxi, maybe I'll rip these back out and put the gaskets around the quarter glass. But for now, I'm a little more focused on getting it running, getting it done, and making sure that I can at least make it down there. Like I said, if I can get this truck running at least a month before we go, so if I can get it running by the first week of September, then that'll give me a little bit of time to drive it, work some bugs out of it, get it dialed in before we take off on a 500 mile, maybe not 500, I don't think it's that much, I think it's 300 something. About an 8-hour drive, 8.5 hour drive from where I'm at. So nothing ridiculous, but I'd like her to be tested. This truck's been the support vehicle every year we went, anywhere we go, whether it be Kentucky, Biloxi, Steel in Motion and Union do so many different things. This truck's always been the support truck. You throw a toolbox in this thing and it's dependable as sunrise. I always carry at least a 2-gallon jug of gas with me because my gas gauge don't work. Got a little rod that I probe my tank with, but if you're going down the road, you can't probe your tank. So, I run out of gas, dump the 2 gallons in, go to the next gas station, or somebody breaks down, I got 2 gallons of gas with me. This truck's been dependable as sunrise. It's been the support vehicle. It's been just that truck for years. And I'd love for it to continue to be that truck. My dad says, excuse me. My dad says it gives him some comfort to look in the rearview mirror and see this truck behind him when we're going somewhere. Because no matter what happens, this truck's gonna get us home. So, but that's that. I believe that does do it for both of the doors. So at this point, I'm probably gonna cut this again. We're gonna move over to the big block and we're gonna start polishing the crank. I'll explain it when I get over there. So we're gonna move to the big block, we're gonna polish the crank, and we're gonna start torquing the bottom end down. So I'll see y'all in a few minutes. All right, so we're over here at the big block. While I was doing some poking around, I realized that I forgot to order cam bearings. So probably not gonna be able to do that. I also cannot find my emery cloth, so I cannot polish the crank today, which means we're not gonna be able to put it together. But I did wanna kinda give you a quick run through anyway, film the outro for the video, what have you. So I know next to nothing about this engine. It appears to me to be some kind of repop, maybe a Jasper or an O'Reilly's crate, something along those lines. It was definitely line board, 20 over. It has 20 over rods. I believe it has 20 over cam bearings. That's why I forgot to order them, because I didn't measure it. I need to knock one of those out and measure them. And I personally believe the bores have also been bored 20 over. I had to measure that as well. It doesn't really matter because I am reusing the same rings and pistons. Everything looks good. I'm gonna check the gap in the rings, but they look good. So when I say I'm gonna polish this crank, I'm gonna get me some really fine, like 600 grit emery cloth, wrap it around the journal, and then wrap like a shoelace or a ratchet strap around it, just the strap, in a 300. So start here, wrap around, and then come back up. And that gives me 360 degrees of sanding with a really, really fine emery cloth to allow me to polish this. It's not terrible. So number one, flywheel's a little warped. There we go. 1 and 2 were the worst. So there's one ring right there that I can almost catch my fingernail on, but it's not terrible. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna polish all of these. Only this main caught a little bit of hell. There's one gouge in this. So I'm gonna polish the mains. I'm gonna polish the rods, rod journals, I should say. Bolt this back down, put the rotating assembly back in it after I gap the rings. And then I'm gonna have to get cam bearings ordered. I'm gonna go ahead and knock one of these out, just to make sure that I can order what I need. But since I cannot find my emery cloth, I'm not gonna start on this today. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I will be filming this video soon, so watch out for it, and we'll be back.